I believe in reparations for people that are
so
in a
I, white man, have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you
No,
just said.
hold on. How is it the white man's fault that black men started to abandon the women?
It's a bigger problem.
No,
Socially.
blacks need to take responsibility for the women that they impregnate. Why did the Asians do so well? America got less racist and the blacks got poorer because we started to subsidize single motherhood and pandering to blacks, saying you do not need to stay around with the women you're pregnant.
So you feel like us as a society has pandered?
Of course we pander to blacks. They're in every TV commercial. They get more privileges to come into society. They come into every college on preferential with lower test scores. You can't ever say anything negative. You can lose your job. You have your entire life obliterated if you say something racist. And yet we have to hear about how racist we are. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man?
Should the government pay reparations for slavery?
No.
And why?
When there are talks like this, it's boiled down to white families should pay black families. I'm an Irish immigrant. At one point, my family were slaves to the British. Now, I would be paying reparations for things that were done when my family never even lived in the country. Honestly, why should we pay for the crimes of the dead?
So, sick of hearing about reparations? My solution? Pay us now, $1,000 a week, and we'll build our own communities, get out of your way, and live happy lives.
Hello kings and queens, I am the Kenyan Beast. Now, welcome to my YouTube channel. Returning subscribers, thank you so much for being here. I love you. New subscribers, this is the place to be. We're gonna be friends, I hope so. Now, in today's video, I'm gonna talk about reparations. It's a topic that we have talked like 3 times, but there's this clip I've seen of a white man saying that he can never pay reparations, or white people are not supposed to pay reparations to black people.
I believe in reparations for people that are
So
in a
I, white man, have to play for black people. Why?
Wow, that's a really selfish thing you just said.
Hold on. How is it the white man's fault that black men started to abandon the women?
It's a bigger problem.
No,
Socially.
blacks need to take responsibility for the women that they impregnate. Why did the Asians do so well? America got less racist and the blacks got poorer because we started to subsidize single motherhood and pandering to blacks, saying you do not need to stay around with the women you're pregnant.
So you feel like us as a society has pandered?
Of course we pander to blacks. They're in every TV commercial. They get more privileges to come into society. They come into every college on preferential with lower test scores. You can't ever say anything negative. You can lose your job. You have your entire life obliterated if you say something racist. And yet we have to hear about how racist we are. How about you take responsibility for your own actions?
And I say, let's ask this question. Why first should we as black people be paid reparations? Because it's one of the questions that we are asking. People are asking, if I'm not the ancestor, if I'm not the one who did the atrocities to you, if I'm not the one who stole from you, I'm not the one who did the bad things to your ancestors, and it's not you. I am not the ancestor. You are not the ancestor. Why are we supposed to pay reparations to black people?
So, sick of hearing about reparations? My solution? Pay us now, $1,000 a week, and we'll build our own communities, get out of your way, and live happy lives. When I graduated from engineering school, I had 9 job offers, and I took the job with Chevron partly because they paid the most. And when I got on the job, I found out that I was being paid less than any of the other people they hired that year. Was it because I was a woman? Was it because I was black? And after 2 years of successfully working on the job, my white male coworkers came to me and asked, how can you stand working someplace where nobody wants you? And my other white male coworker said, because if she only worked in places where she was wanted, she would never have a job. So much encouragement by my coworkers. And that's what black people have been experiencing since I can remember. So that's why we want reparations. It has very little to do with the fact that folks were enslaved so many years ago. It's more about the fact that since then, things have not changed much. Some people, a few people, are made examples of and allowed to rise up. But when white people see black people who are homeless, they say they want to be homeless. They like living out there. Excuse me? Really? You really think that? That's the most insulting, racist thing I have ever heard. And whenever I hear that, I have to call people on it. So I'm calling you on it now. Pay those people reparations so that they can move inside and see if they do that. Then you'll know for sure if they really want to live outside. What they don't want to do is work on jobs where they are treated unfairly and disrespected, and also living in places where the landlord keeps raising the rent until they can no longer afford it. In Los Angeles, during the 1940s, black people owned property until California created a law that said that no black people could own or rent inside Los Angeles County. So all the black people who owned property were put out onto the streets. And that really started Skid Row. Did you know that a lot of people on Skid Row actually have jobs? They just can't afford to find a place to rent or buy a home, so they live on the street and work in the garment district. Amazing, isn't it? But have you sat and talked to the homeless people? They are people who have been abused by the system in this lifetime, and it's a carryover from slavery. So that's what reparations is for, more for the people now who are suffering from current racist behavior by people with white privilege. People with white privilege think that people want to live on the street? No. People who live on the street are people who can no longer live with the abuses of everyday bad treatment by privileged white people. It's just the facts. So, sick of hearing about reparations? My solution? Pay us now $1,000 a week, and we'll build our own communities, get out of your way, and live happy lives. Just please don't bomb us like you did Black Wall Street in Oklahoma, and stop the racist behavior that causes people to come and try to abuse us. Pay us, we'll get out of your way.
This generation, like the Gen Z generation, we are very confused, or they are very confused about why should we be paid, why should we pay. So we need an eye opener, because it's been a story for so long. It's being talked for so long, and there's a lady even explaining why are we supposed to get the reparations. Watch this one and then we're gonna react about it.
Hello. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this question is not genuine solely based on the other comments that you have left. However, I would love, nonetheless, an opportunity to try to educate you or anyone else watching this who believes that paying reparations to Black people is somehow this grandiose, asinine idea. Firstly, your comment signals to me that you are not on an active anti-racism journey. Because if you were truly aware of just how deep the systematic racism is in the US and how Black people today can still be feeling the effects of slavery without ever having been enslaved, you would be angry. You would want to do something about it. And with that knowledge, you would absolutely be on board for reparations, no question. And I understand not being on board with reparations because there was a time when I wasn't on board with reparations. Several years ago, I would have acknowledged how egregious slavery was. I would have acknowledged that I have white privilege. I would have agreed that racism still exists and affects Black people today. But where I drew the line was reparations. My thinking back then was, why should I, as a white person who was never an enslaver, have to pay taxes or whatever the system would be to Black people today who were never enslaved? But the reason that I had that stance was out of sheer ignorance. It was because I was missing some very crucial pieces to the puzzle and couldn't see the whole picture. I wasn't educated enough on how deeply slavery has impacted generation after generation and is still impacting Black people today. And once I gained that knowledge, learning from Black people, might I add, something clicked, and now I'm on board with reparations. Not so fun fact, did you know that DC enslavers got reparations after the emancipation? Yeah, $300 per person to offset their loss of enslaved peoples. So post-slavery, there were some white people getting paid, but not the Black people who were enslaved. Also, not so fun fact, did you know that white families have 10 times the amount of wealth as Black families? And that wealth gap is not because white people are smarter, it's not because white people work harder, and it's not because white people picked themselves up by their bootstraps and Black people didn't. It's because throughout history, white people and white families have been allowed to accrue wealth while Black people have been stripped of it. Reparations is a necessary and crucial piece of healing that is hundreds of years overdue. And not just for descendants of enslaved peoples, but for all of us.
Welcome back. I know from watching these videos, you have something to comment on the comment section. Why should we be paid reparation? Or will you pay reparation? If you are a white man watching this video, are you supposed to pay reparation to the black people? Reparations is the money or that is being paid to the people for the things they did for the black people, the colonizers, the slavery, stealing the lands, killing people, the family members. Now, black families should be paid something, reparations. For me, I accept, yeah, we should be paid reparations. And even if we cannot be paid reparations, there's a way they can repay this by condemning the evils, condemning discrimination, condemning racism, because the atrocities is happening up to now. It's just now it is happening indirectly. Those times maybe it was happening like slavery was just direct. But right now we are being enslaved indirect through economy, through everything. When you are a black person, you are working in white man's land, there's somewhere they are treating you the same way they were treating black people those days. It's just now they are not doing it straight. They are not doing it direct. They are doing it indirectly. But believe me or not, they are doing it. They are treating black people as they were being treated those days. So, as black families asking for reparations, it's not that we are asking for you to pay us money because you did something bad to us. I know we are not the ancestors and you are not the one who did bad to us, but it's not you to pay the black people. It's your government to pay the reparations. It's your government to pay the black people. Because even up to now, these white governments like Britain, USA, France, they are in Africa, still exploiting, still causing chaos in Africa, still causing things that will kill people in Africa, you know? So, whatever is happening is, your government should stop the things that they are doing in the new world. Because if up to now we have genocide in Congo people are being killed, and it's all because of the resources. It's all because of the copper, uranium, gold that is in Congo. So, reparations is not all about paying cash to the black family, but stopping the atrocities, stopping the, you know what, just stopping the bad things your government is doing to the black people. For example, South Sudan does not have peace. It's an oil-rich country, a country rich of oil. And if we are talking about reparation, we are talking about the white people leaving this country at peace, giving this country, giving them their freedom. Don't exploit our countries. There's another way of paying reparations, like this guy said, you have watched the video, this one, that how do we pay reparations to you? How can an individual pay reparation to you? And he said, like, educating black people, giving them technology, computers, and all those. I know it's hard for the new generation to accept that the white people, they need to give us what belongs to us. There's a lot of things that is belonging to us. And for me, I cannot go on an individual level in the issue of reparations. For me, about reparation, I will go to the level of the government. Now, I was saying, from my personal level, if I talk about reparation, I talk about the side of the government, like the government of USA, government of France, the white people government, the white supremacy. They should do something to reduce the atrocities they are doing in African countries, because this discussion of reparation is going on because we are still seeing their force, we are still seeing their effect in our countries, in our black countries. And there's a video I did about a white lady accusing Jamaicans of begging, and I was saying that it's not that we are begging, but the things they are doing to our nations, it's making us to look like beggars. Now, if you pay us our reparation, pay as we go. You know, you can set aside this amount of dollars you give the black families, and then, yeah, everyone to go his own way. But if at nowadays we are still on the issue of racism, if at nowadays we are still in the issue of discrimination, we are still in the issue of exploiting, you are coming to Africa, you come to steal, you come to Africa, you come to loot, and you are causing war in countries, genocide, people are killing each other. You are doing what you did to Africa, to black people those days, but you are doing it indirect. Now you have found another way of doing it. And that's why we are asking for reparations. You know, I know it's a very hard topic, because I can say, even me sometimes, I ask myself, why should you pay me? What have you done to me? But generation after generation, there is a line that maybe I could not be a beggar today, but because you stole something from me, you stole something from my great grandfather. Now, right now, I'm suffering because of you things you did. I'm suffering because of what your great grandfather did to me. I know there are white people who are talking about reparation. White people are saying that we need to pay reparation to individuals. We accept. A lot of them are embracing the issue of reparation, because even them, when they see the history, when they read the history of black and white, they understand and they know, why are we asking for reparations? There's a lot of immigrants in France, Britain, because maybe their ancestors went there 1935, 1915, those days 1800. And the issue here is they were forced into hard labor. They had to leave their country. They had to leave their family behind to go to British to build the Britain. And they left their countries here. That's why we need reparation. In 1830-something, when Christopher Columbus went to Jamaica and he imported slaves from Africa, the slaves left their families. Up to now, they have never gone back. Some people in Jamaica, they don't know their line of their DNA, where it lies. They don't know their great-grandfathers. They have ancestors, they have families in Africa, but they cannot go back because their freedom was sold. That's where we need reparations. So the issue of reparations is the issue that we need to understand. And as everyone, black and white, we need to talk about it. It's not that we are demanding, but again, we are demanding, you know, because if the things that they did to black people could just have ended when they gave us freedom, it's okay. But now we don't have again the freedom. Up to now, they have taken away our freedom. The children of black families, children of Africa, they are not reading. They don't have education, good education. They don't have good water. They don't have sanity. They don't have anything, because the white supremacy is still in the country, controlling, is still oppressing the people of Africa. That's where reparation come in. So tell me in the comment section, what do you think about reparations? This white man has said that I don't have to pay reparations to you. He has a point. He has a point. But why should you pay reparation? Why are we demanding for reparations? And if you are not paying for reparation, then let's be civilized. Okay? Tell me in the comment section, what do you think about this topic about reparations? And what do you think in the comment section about this topic? You can chat with me. My email address is kenyanbeast1@gmail.com. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about reparation. I am the Kenyan Beast, of course. We are doing it the African way. Peace be with you.